Let's bring it to our friend Doug Flynn, co-founder at Flynn Zito Capital Management, who probably won't have much perspective on this, as we know Doug flies private. But your thoughts on Southwest? This was their thing, right?
It is. And, look, they did some polling and like 86% of the people prefer an assigned seat. So they do have their loyalists that don't want that. But I think what really blew this up is the people that work the system. They've been tracking how many people go onto the plane in wheelchairs, but on exiting the plane, they get up and walk out. So the wheelchair access sort of cuts all the lines. So a lot of those seats that people used to be able to get were getting harder and harder to get. So it was becoming less and less something that people really enjoyed doing. And then, of course, competitively, everybody else is doing it. And mentioning that those baggage fees, that's coming. There's no question about it. They can't pass away billions of dollars in revenue. They need it. And even though they're in pretty good shape relative to everybody else debt-wise as a company, they obviously could use more revenue as all of them can.
Stock went up about 5%, as you saw there today. What about CrowdStrike? You know, after that situation that we saw last week, so speaking of the planes, they weren't working, CrowdStrike was put out this update that did not go well. Now giving out $10 vouchers. Gift cards. I don't know. Does this solve everything? What do you say?
The craziest part about this is their $10 Uber Eats gift cards, and they were only to their partners and teammates. This was not to customers or consumers. So it was basically given to the people that had a deal with all of the ultimate end users that were trying to figure out how to get the internet working again so they can get back to business. I mean, but this affected 911 areas. It affected banks. It affected, obviously, the airlines. Some of them are still reeling from that. So it was a big, major thing. I don't know that a $10 Uber Eats card is going to go very far, but I guess it's better than nothing.
I guess a lot of things are better than nothing, but not great. Now, final point. We talked the last hour about the economy growing last quarter, better than expected, that GDP number that came out. Your thoughts on that, what it means, the Fed, and everything else?
Yeah, it was a much bigger number than they thought, 2.8% versus everybody estimated around 2%. And that had a lot to do with the consumer. As always, consumer spending was up, but also business investment in equipment was also up very big. Now, of course, this is an overall good news number, but there's never 100% good news. There's some negative in there in terms of imports went up a lot. And so there's some of those issues there. But basically what you've got is you got a furthering of the economy continuing its moderate growth, and you've got inflation slowly decelerating. So that combination is exactly what you want. And so, every time I look at these numbers, it seems like the U.S. economy is just a little bit better and a little bit stronger than anybody thinks it is.
All right, we'll take it for now, and then the Fed will have to figure out what to do with it. Thank you, Doug. Doug Flynn, Flynn Zito on that.